Alright, what is going on, my dudes? We're back here today with the newest buff entering MCOC. We're going to be taking a look at Red Skull today. Now, I have wanted this guy to get a buff since he was released, basically, man. He's always had a cool kit in theory. He has incredible animations, a fantastic character model design. But he's always felt a bit lacking in a few departments, right? It felt like the skeleton, no pun intended because he's a skull, of the kit was there. It just didn't seem super practical. So he got a really nice moderate buff here, and he becomes very useful in different ways now. So we're going to jump into it today, and let's take a look at this skull, okay? We'll go over everything that's changed, and then I'll show you a bunch of gameplay and stuff, okay? So right away in the SIG ability here, right? Every 10th basic attack grants Red Skull 1 armor up buff. Now that is very nice because one of the biggest issues that Red Skull has had is that you block a hit and then your armors are gone. And the only way that you were able to gain them, I believe, was that you gained 1 when you crossed a bar of power yourself, right? So now this is a new way to gain armor up buffs, right? And there are other ways as well, and we'll get into that. But the biggest issue that he had was like, well, he uses his armor ups to like interact with this kit and they're kind of gone if you parry, right? So now there'll be more armor ups, okay? On top of that, he's now immune to nullify, fate seal, and stagger effects from champions, not from nodes, but any mystics, right? Stuff like that. You're not going to be just losing your armor up buff. So like if you're fighting a long shot, right? I don't know if I'd really recommend fighting Longshot with him, but like in theory, if Longshot uses his special 2, the Fate Seal will not activate on you. Okay? Against mutants, Red Skull's ability accuracy cannot be modified, makes him a great domino counter. Okay? That's pretty much like, and also, you know, Magneto as well, but like that, there's so many tech champions that just cannot have their ability accuracy modified by mutant champions because Domino is an absolute menace. Alright? So armor up. You start each fight with 5 indefinite armor up buffs, and they max out at 10, and they can increase your armor rating by up to 2,500 if you're maxed out, which is actually a lot, makes him very, very tanky. Now, this is new. When either champion gains a bar of power, alright, you gain 1 armor up buff. So it used to be just when you gain a bar, you gain an armor up. Now, both sides, okay? You're going to be gaining armor buffs. Now, you can do a lot of things with this. You can pretty much like push them above a bar of power, dash back, parry, drain them right below it, push them above, dash back, drain, push them above, and keep repeating that over and over and over and over, right? So that is going to be very nice for controlling the opponent's power. Now, this is new as well. For each armor up buff, very easy way to increase damage, okay? For each armor up buff, you're going to gain increased attack, increased crit resistance, and increased energy resistance. On top of that, you're going to reduce the opponent's stun ability accuracy by 10%, okay? So, if you want to use him for like stuff like encroaching stun, or for example, like champions who stun you and you parry them, like Black Panther Civil War, right? That kind of stuff. If you have armors, you're going to avoid that stun, but at the end of the day, this is more so a defensive buff right here. That means that you're not going to be able to parry him easily when you're fighting him, regardless of how many armors that he has, right? Because you can't rely on 50% stun ability accuracy for encroaching stun, but you can keep that in the back of your mind all the time when you're fighting him, because even with 2 armors, a 20% chance for that stun not to stick could be very annoying. All right, now this staying the same, of course. You consume an armor up buff to power drain 10% of the opponent's max power and deal direct damage for each armor up buff on Red Skull. So when you have 10 armor ups, you're going to be dealing a lot of direct damage. Now this is not power drain damage, okay? This is not avoidable with Hulkling, not avoidable with Gallon. This damage is going to exist pretty much no matter who you use. I'd imagine like Namor can get around it, hit his block with Namor, that would be kind of fun, but yeah. Heavy attacks, inflict a non-stacking heal block debuff for 12 seconds. Cool. Now, we'll do the special 2 first. Actually, we'll go in reverse order today. The special 3. You drain 100% of the opponent's power, and for every 10% of max power drain this way, you gain an armor up buff. So, if you throw this at like 2.2 bars of power that they have, the special 3 will push them to their special 3 and instantly drain all of it, and you'll have all of your armor. So I'll show it to you, but there's a lot of really cool power control stuff you can do with the special 3. All right, now the special 2, here comes some more defensive buffs, and also a bit useful on offense. On activation, gain an unstoppable buff for 2 seconds plus half a second for each armor up buff on Red Skull. The duration is paused until the special attack ends, and it's consumed when he is struck. Okay, so each hit of the special 2 deals a shock debuff, dealing energy damage over 6 seconds plus 1 second per armor up buff on Red Skull. So if you throw that at 10 armor ups, which is ideal, you're going to be having a very, very decent amount of time on those shocks, right? And then the special 1, the first hit pauses the shock debuffs on the opponent for 6 seconds. On top of that, more defensive stuff. On activation, you gain an auto block passive, granting 100% chance to auto block basic attacks for 3 seconds. The duration is paused until the special attack ends. Cool. It's consumed when triggered. Auto block will not trigger when he is unstoppable. Okay, so clearly it's looking like you want to go special 2, special 1, right? Now, on top of that, each hit deals a burst of energy damage, and you deal additional bursts if they're suffering from a shock debuff. So you just definitely want to go special 2 and then special 1 to close out the fight, right? When you're fighting him, we have 3 new defensive threats here, okay? We have unstoppable on special 2, we have auto block on special 1, and we have stun ability accuracy reduction all the time, right? That changes its potency as the fight goes on. So he reminds me a lot of Bishop, okay? Bishop entered the game, and he's now considered a top mutant, right? At the time, he wasn't. At the time, he wasn't considered the top mutant, right? But then Battlegrounds came along, and then all of a sudden, right, Bishop has these new annoying defensive mechanics, right? They just kind of like mess you up. They stall you out, right? They do some BS damage that's kind of hard to avoid, right? And he becomes one of the best Battlegrounds defenders because he's annoying. On top of that, he isn't always the fastest attacker. Sometimes he is, especially in certain metas like Power Shield and whatnot. He completely nukes with that special too, but Red Skull special 2 with those shocks would do really well on Power Shield, but I feel like Red Skull is going to arrive kind of in a similar spot, probably a little bit less valuable than Bishop at the end of the day. I feel like Red Skull is a little bit more utility based, right, and power control based in the tech department, which I like a lot, but I feel like he has that nice, very Battlegrounds Alliance War type gear, right, to make him a nice two-way champion. So we're gonna actually start today with a fight that isn't Battlegrounds related. You can totally make this Battlegrounds related, and when it gets to about 50% health, the fight's over, okay? Let's keep that in mind here. But this is a big Weapon X, 465,000 health. This is on the CCP beta. I do have a rank 5 skull on the live server, but I don't have this Weapon X on the live server, so we're gonna fight him here, okay? So this guy right here, 465,000 health, aggression, regen, okay? We're pretty much just going to control the fight from start to finish. That's what we're doing here today in this fight, all right? So let's see what we can do here. First of all, those perfect parries on this guy are very nice. I want you to watch the opponent's power bar a lot in this video today, all right? Watch it. Boom! We were talking about this, right? Boom! We were talking about this, right? If they throw the special 1, not a big deal. But look, you can control the power bar like that. It's pretty nice. So now we're going to bait out a special 1, and he's going to go into his Berserk Rage, right? So now we're going to wait a little tiny second here, go for a little intercept, and now we're actually going to go for a Striker into a special 2, get those shocks on, and now he's down to about 75% health. I haven't been able to heal block him, but now we're going to pause. We're pausing these things, and that's some decent amount of burst damage. He's down to 63% health. He's healing a lot. We haven't been heal blocking him because he's been unblockable, but look, right here, the Battlegrounds fight would kind of be over, right? About 50 seconds in. Not too bad, all right? And now we're keeping those shocks paused. So we went special 2, special 1, special 1, one more special 1 to pause those shocks once more, and that is going to be it. And the auto block kills him there. So that's pretty darn freaking solid against a big Weapon X, 465,000 health, healing a lot. Let's take a look here, right? We have a Cyclops, okay? We have a Cyclops here. Now, I love the power control, but let's say you're in a Battlegrounds match, right? And you have to race. You want to race to kill the opponent before they kill your defender, right? So I'm not controlling his power here. I'm keeping my armor ups as high as I possibly can. I totally have room to block and parry here, but if I can keep 10 armor ups, that is fantastic. That is the goal in this specific fight right here, okay? So I want to build up to about 2.9 bars of power, give or take, right? I'm going to throw the special 2. Ideally, he has low power, but it's okay that he doesn't. We're going to go like this. We're going to use the unstoppable because we're very tanky. We're going to go right here, special 1, and that is going to be all that she wrote. That was about 220,000 health or so, right? We could have went for one more special 2. It would have done another like 60, 70,000 damage total with the shocks and the pause and the energy and the basic attacks. So pretty darn solid for those shorter fights like Battlegrounds. Now, I have been very into like tech power control lately, right? I've been huge on Hulkbuster. He was my first rank 3 7-star. Absolutely love that playstyle. So today, here is a 700,000 health Cyclops. I'm not going to show you the entire fight. I just want to show you the reach on his power control, okay? He will not gain a bar of power in this fight. He will not gain one single bar of power. He will not get the opportunity to use a special 1, okay? Now keep in mind, this power control is so strong, so potent, that you can pretty much throw Red Skull in most places and avoid ever baiting special attacks. Now, more often than not, totally cool to bait a special. There's no reason not to bait specials. But this is just for like those crazy scenarios where it's like, oh, what are we gonna do here? I don't know. Well, can Red Skull do it? Maybe. Watch what we're gonna do here, all right? Boom. Special 3 at 2.2 bars of power, okay? And now, what we just did, we're gonna do it again, except we have 10 armors as currency to start with instead of 5. So it's going to be even easier to keep this guy under a bar of power as we make our way up to special 3, okay? We have 8 armors right here to work with. 100% chance to get back to that special 3 very easily. And the striker really helps a lot because once you get to 2 bars of power like this, you're pretty much guaranteed to get that third special, and it doesn't matter where the opponent's power is because you're going to drain 100% of their power on the special 3, right? So again, I told you we're not going to watch this entire fight, but this is just an example right here. We're back here. We're back here, 100% full yellow bar. We've now used 2 special 3s. He has not even made it to 1 bar of power. So that level of power control is very valuable in my eyes. I like that a lot. Yeah, very, very, very strong power control there. Let's go for an interesting one here. We have a battleground size health pool future Ant-Man, 225,000 health, okay? This is a very common defender in Battlegrounds, right? So let's see if Red Skull has the reach for someone that isn't Cyclops, right? We already showed a big Weapon X, but this is future Ant-Man, okay? This is future freaking Ant-Man right here. We're gonna dex the special 1. We're gonna throw the special 2 here with 9 armors. Good enough, not exactly 10, but we'll take it, all right? Here's the unstoppable, okay? We're gonna use that to like kind of help us get some openings a little bit. Not really. I guess we didn't do that. But sometimes I like to reparry with it. But as you can see, those shocks, they're ticking very nicely. He's glancing a bit. Doesn't really matter. Here we actually get hit by the tail end of this. But look at how tanky we are. And he's dead. So yeah, pretty darn solid stuff, man. When you have the unstoppable, right, you can absolutely like it's very easy to reparry because they hit you while you're unstoppable and you're unstoppable. So you kind of stay there. It's very easy. You do not move. You don't get pushed back to get the parry right away and go in with the special 1. I thought I did that here. I didn't. That's why I said I did. But yeah, there's also some other stuff you can do. Here we have a Star-Lord, about 200,000 health. This is an example. But his heavy attack, when you're charging his heavy, you gain power, right? So we're going to use the unstoppable and the auto block here to do some fun things. I don't really recommend doing this in like Battlegrounds, but like you could. Watch. So we'll do a special 2. All right. We're going to hold heavy, watch my power. Unstoppable. Bam. Special 1 here. Now we have an auto block passive. Just some cool things, man. There's some cool things you can do, right? Just for fun, if you're messing around and questing and stuff. He can do a lot of things now, including fighting Domino because of that You know, he's always been like okay versus Domino, but like he didn't really have like the damage for it. Now he will have the damage for it, right? And you'll never see critical failure on this guy because all of his stuff has 100% chance to happen. 100% chance to gain an armor, 100% chance to inflict shocks, 100% chance to get the auto block, 100% chance to 2 auto block, all that fun stuff, right? And you're just never going to see the crit failure because that 15% reduction is not going to happen in the fight, right? Which is really, really nice. It's always nice to have more Domino counters. But yeah, man, this is Red Skull. Pretty darn solid buff, man. I might ascend him. I'm not sure. I'm going to see how I like actually using him in practical setting and battlegrounds and stuff first. But yeah, man, I'm pretty darn happy with the buff. I think he's pretty cool. I mean, animation-wise and character model-wise, he's just awesome. So to have his kit like actually work well, pretty darn cool. He's also going to be attack tactic for the next 2 seasons in Alliance War, so it'll probably be useful, man. You know, that the power control potential is just so good on this guy, man. Just controlling the opponent's power is great. One of the things I really love about Hulkbuster, man, is just how good he is at doing that. But that's it for this video. That's Red Skull. That's Red Skull doing some pretty darn cool things. You probably have Red Skull in your roster, right? He's pretty old at this point. I think he's from like 2018. Let's take a look. He's from 2018. That's pretty darn cool, man. So take him out for a spin. Let me know in the comments what you think about this guy. And yeah, that's it for this one, man. Hit the subscribe button for more, and I'll be seeing you around.